This is the Khoodeelaar television channel being broadcast on the internet, only on the internet, not on satellite, not on terrestrial, not on cable platforms. This is timed at 17:10 hours GMT on Sunday, the 31st of August 2025, continuing the world exclusive original diagnostic commentary, focusing on the corruption of Angela Rayner. The Mail on Sunday, which is part of the Daily Mail, has the heading, front page, banner heading, Rayner used top wealth protection firm in deal over house. And this is a slightly different kind of tangent from the one used by the Rupert Murdoch's Come on Sunday. The controversy over Angela Rayner's tangled financial affairs deepened last night as it emerged that she employed the services of a company which specialized in wealth protection. The embattled Deputy Prime Minister, already accused of flipping the designation of her main home to limit her liability for stamp duty and council tax, split the ownership of her £650,000 constituency home with a trust administered by blue chip law firm Shoesmiths. At the time of the deal in 2023, the company boasted that it had a dedicated wealth protection team to help its private clients. The legal maneuvers would be consistent with Ms. Rayner's placing some of the house's equity in trust for her three children, one of whom has special needs. Although the Deputy PM's office repeatedly declined to answer the Mail on Sundays, continuing on page 6. The Mail on Sundays questions about his purpose. Last night, the Tories demanded to know whether the arrangement with Shoesmiths Trust Corporation offered any inheritance tax advantage for Miss Rayner's family. A political point heightened by the fact Chancellor Rachel Reeves is reportedly considering raising inheritance tax in her autumn budget as part of a wider range of wealth taxes. Now, going back to the theme that I outlined in the last edition of this program, in the last 2 hours, it is housing. Housing is a festering problem in the United Kingdom, and the fact that housing is a crisis which appears to be completely intractable and completely beyond reasonable social solution is evidence of the completely unfit for purpose regimes being fronted by Keir Starmer, Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner. And it's a continuation of the corruption, unfitness for purpose, and sleaze surrounding the Conservatives over the 13 years prior to the 2024 general election held on the 4th of July 2024. Now, how do we begin to actually dissect truthfully, ethically, morally, the corrupt layers that actually constitute the British government, British state, local, regional, central? First of all, the British Parliament, which in the House of Commons, the lower house, is dominated numerically by the Keir Starmer fronted Labour Party, is totally devoid of the moral, intellectual capacity to deal with the issues that surround, that confront most of the people who need, absolutely urgently need, vital and fit housing. Starting from the next king, William Windsor, who has been party to propaganda about homelessness, making completely impossible, impractical, totally ignorant and ill-informed, bogus claims that he intends to end homelessness. To Angela Rayner, who was the shadow education secretary during the opposition, especially when Jeremy Corbyn led the opposition or misled the opposition, and who is now the Secretary of State for Housing, and taking in between all the elements and the fragments and the aspects and the entities, including the House of Commons, the House of Peers, the various so-called newspapers, mainstream newspapers, and the various charities, so-called, including the one that is called Shelter. None of these organizations or entities has produced a truthful or the truthful facts about why housing remains a crisis. I would say that this is the evidence. Housing is the evidence of the sickness of organized society in Britain. The local councils, regional elected authorities like the Greater London Authority, fronted by the corrupt post of Mayor of London, to the House of Commons elected, all of these people and the media, the Fleet Street, the BBC, Sky News, etc., all of them have been hiding the truth and telling lies about housing, while at the same time appearing to be concerned about the desperate situation that homelessness and the lack of housing daily and hourly confronts people who are denied basic housing. Now, the fact that Angela Rayner is now the most convenient short-term kind of symbol of the corruption and abuse of office by the regime fronted by Keir Starmer must not be allowed to conceal the fact that millions of people in this country, in the United Kingdom, are deprived of, denied housing rights. And this is coming at the same time as the likes of Daniel Hannan, crooked propagandists against the European Union, and crooked, desperate, lunatic, insane propagandists for Brexit, saying that the United Kingdom must withdraw from the European Convention on Human Rights. And in a letter on Saturday in the Times, Murdoch Times, Malcolm Rifkind said he salutes David Blunkett and Jack Straw, two former Labour cabinet members who were, according to him, belatedly agreeing to the demand that the UK should withdraw from the European Convention of Human Rights. This is ridiculous. Because although Jack Straw is listed as a lawyer, he is a liar. The European Convention of Human Rights can never be withdrawn from by any signatory countries without the entire edifice of due process, etc., and constitutionality built around that falling apart. So you can see the actual collection of indefensible, unfit for purpose aspects of the UK society in this summary. And there is nothing that the Conservatives have actually said against Angela Rayner's housing abuse that actually constitutes admission that they actually want the people, ordinary people, to have housing rights. And there is no voice in the so-called left, on the so-called left, which is completely banal and stupid and ignorant and corrupt and racist. The left is silent. So we shall be talking about all of this in future editions as well. This is ending at 17:15 hours GMT, which is just over 12 minutes, 25 seconds.